Welcome everyone, I'm Alison with Continental Bead Suppliers. Thank you so much for joining me. Say hello to Stella. She's a Tillandsia air plant who likes to hang out in all sorts of fun places. Check out her new fave spot, Stella's Place. We'll show you how to create this beautiful organic circle that hangs from our fabulous large link cable chain with the addition of semi-precious beads and some sparkle. Who wouldn't want to hang out here? Let's begin. For Stella's Place, we'll be using 22 links, which is about 1 foot of our 20 by 12 millimeter aluminium cable chain. The part number is CH-938. 1 teardrop charm pendant, the part number is K129. 3 links of our textured link chain. Hopefully you'll have 2 round links and 1 oval in the section that you will have to use. 32 20 gauge 2-inch eye pins, the part number is E/P2. 32 8 millimeter stones or crystals. I've used a powder blue impression jasper here. About 75 4 millimeter crystal bicone beads or some other small bead. 5 feet of 22 gauge brass artistic wire. 2 pairs of flat nose pliers. 1 pair of round nose pliers. 1 flush cutter. 1 ruler. You might want a cup hook or something to hang the piece from the ceiling, or a nail, a decorative piece to hang it from the wall. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to attempt the kind of organic ring that we're going to make is just purchase a 2.5 inch ring, which you can then wrap and decorate with the wire and crystals. That's just another option. The first thing I'm going to do is take this 5 foot length that I've cut off the spool and create a small spiral on one end. This is to hold the 4 millimeter crystals in place, just to stop them from falling off the end. So the way to do that is just take your round nose pliers, make a little turn here, and it's almost like making a bit of a knot in the thread, literally just to hold the crystals on. You can see it's a little bit of a spiral here. So we'll start on the other end and I'll begin loading on the crystals. So let me move these over here. And just random, I just have an assortment here of various pretty greens, a little bit of a smoky topaz. They're just kind of earthy tones, which I think will work really nicely. So no method to this, just about, as I say, about 50 crystals. So I'll come back once I've got these loaded on. So now that I've got these crystals all onto this 5 foot length of wire, you can see I've got the little spiral on this end. We're going to start forming the ring. And the way that we do that, keep a grasp on this open end here. And we're going to form a little circle. Just keep an eye on this end here, which is going to be about 2.5 inches in diameter, and that was just a lucky placement there, so you can see that going across. So 2.5 inches, that's what we're aiming for. It doesn't have to be exact, and again, if you're working with a different size air plant, you can certainly adjust the size accordingly to the plants that you have, because obviously you don't want them to fall directly through the hole. So you know, it's just kind of a little bit of a guessing game. Also at 2.5 inches, if you feel like making a bracelet, you can also do that too. So that's a good size for a wrist one. Just a little extra tip there. So let's form this second ring here. just exactly the 2.5 inches again, and pinch it with your finger. And then I'm going to start wrapping. So you can just watch that you don't poke yourself with this end here, but I'm going to bring the wire through and then anchor it. Bring everything through the ring. And wrap this around, just a couple of tight little spots here. I just do 2 or 3 wraps, and this will hold it in place. This wire sort of goes all over the place, so just keep your eyes protected. The springy bits of wire here. So I'll just do 1 more wrap. And as you can see, this wire is getting quite bent out of shape. So that's not to worry about. This is all going to add to the organic nature of this piece. So we brought this through. So the next thing I want you to do is you can just bend this a little bit. Keep bending the wire, but keeping the idea of the circle here. And then, so as I say, it doesn't have to be completely round, but you've got the idea with this. It's not perfectly smooth either. The next thing I want to do is just start crinkling this wire a little bit and just making it, again, a little bit more organic in nature. So what I'm going to do now is bring up a crystal that I had threaded on. And just draw it up to this spot here. And I'm going to wrap this around a little bit, leaving a little bit of a gap here, a little bit of a bubble. Draw this through. Wrap that round again. And you're just going to have to go with what feels right on this, where you want things to be. So now I'm going to draw another bead up. See if you can do this without stuff flying all over the place here. I might bring 2 beads up this time, actually, and see. So they're just going to sit in there like that. I'm going to make another anchor point. Just watch that little spiral on the end doesn't get untangled. So again, we're just going to wrap this wire around here as an anchor point. Just do this once. Just have to have a little bit of patience with this, and perhaps not have so many things on your mat at the same time. Okay, so there we've got that. Again, we'll wrap around a little bit more. And I think I'll bring another anchor point here. Actually, I'm going to bring a bead up there. So before I start making the anchor, perhaps bring another 2 beads up. I like to have a little bit of movement in things always, and if this thing happens to catch a breeze a little bit, you'll see there's a little bit of movement with it. It really doesn't matter where these sit. And another little anchor, just to hold things in place again. Draw another bead up. There we go. This one might just have a little anchor here, just a little wind around these original 2 pieces. This looks a little intimidating. It's not, it's just a bit of wire and a few beads. But it adds a really nice sparkle to this piece, and you can see how this is starting to come together. So I'm going to continue on with this, and I'll come back shortly and show you how I've progressed around. So as you can see, I've almost come to the end of this piece. I have quite a number of beads still left on here, and I'm probably going to be cutting some of these off. So let's just finish this off. So I'm going to bring, and you can see too, I've been bringing 2 beads up, 3 beads up at a time. I'm just trying to spread it out around the ring. So here's another couple up. I'll perhaps bring 3 in on here. So it's just sitting around there. Anchor this around. And I'm thinking this is probably going to be a good spot to finish. So I'm going to bring another 3 beads up to fill in this little area here. It's very intuitive, so don't get too concerned about this. So I'm just going to finish this up by anchoring this around. I'm going to wrap it round perhaps 3 times, like this. And I'm literally just going to trim this off now. Just take the flush cutters, trim that down, set this little bit of wire aside, take the flat nose pliers and just make sure that that little tail is sitting nice and flush to the circle. And here we have our crystal organic type of wreath, which is going to act as the home for Stella to sit in. I'm going to open these textured links here with my flat nose pliers, like this. I'm going to attach this first one onto an open area on the frame here, and just close that up nice and flush. And on the other end, opposite, so that's going to be about this area here, I'm going to open the other round link, pop this on and attach the link of this chain, the end link of the length of chain, doesn't matter which end, and just close that up. So that's going to be sitting like this here. I have 21 eye pins here, and I'm going to create open loops with them using the impression jasper and the crystals. So we'll begin by putting on one of the stones, adding a crystal, and then we'll create the open loop here. So the way that I do this is just by bending this wire down. I've pushed my nail down against the crystal, just bring that down. And I'm actually going to cut with the size stones that I've used here. I'm going to cut at the midpoint on this piece of wire. So I'm just eyeballing it about there. And then create an open loop. So I need to be able to go all the way into the plier jaw with this. Be cautious if you have a plier that has a cutter in the box here. Just don't go in that far, but you go to the maximum point on the cone part of the plier. So let's try this way. And the reason why we need it to be this large is the diameter of the chain here is quite chunky, so I need this ring to sit with a little bit of movement on here. So I'll just pop this one on so that you can see where it's going to go. So basically it's the first, it's going to go onto the second link after the first one that's been connected to the twisted ring here from the previous piece of chain. So it's going to be going on to this one here. So let me just open that up. So you probably have to open it quite wide. So it's going to sit right on here. It's not normally this fiddly. There we go. And close this up. And you can see that that's just sitting nicely on there, the front of the chain, and it kind of is starting to connect into this area here. So we're going to be putting one bead component, one open link component onto each forward facing piece of chain here. So let me get some of these components made and then I'll show you how we connect it up. Here I am on the last of the 21 8mm beads here for this part of the project. Just the last crystal on. Finish this up. There we go. So we're going to be using 11 in total for the front part of the chain. So as you can see, as this the way that this chain is sitting. So I've got the first one on here, which I showed you earlier. So it's going to be on every other link to start with, and that, I found that's the easiest way to try and keep track of what's going on here. So let's open up a link. That one went on much easier. Let's close this up. So now we've got the two on here. And just there's a little bit of movement in there on either side. So I'll continue on up this length and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we're attaching them onto the alternate links. So I've got these ones on here. I'm just going to attach the last one on this top link, just the same way. And then on this end link as well, I'm actually going to attach the oval link that I had from the textured chain. See if I've got the right way. There we go. Couldn't see where the opening was, it was closed so nicely. So put this through here. Close that up. So this is going to be the piece that's going to hang from the cup hook or the nail or whatever you have going into the wall of the ceiling. So the next thing that I'm going to do is add the remaining 8mm beads here from the 21. So we've got 11 on here now. Start back down at the bottom again. And it's just, I find that I like to do them on opposites for this one. So let me just see where I am here with this. I'm on the front. So the way that I'll start doing this is after this first one that we put on here, on this next one, we will be putting it on the right side. Skip one that has the next bead on it. The following open link, the bead will go onto the left side, right, left, right, left, right, left, up until you've used these up. So let me start off with that. So we've got this on here. I'm going to attach it onto this one. So that's what I call the right side there. You can see it's there. This is the front of this one. So the next one will come onto the left side of the next open link here that doesn't have anything on it yet. And it just kind of fills things in nicely, just adds a little bit of balance to it. So you can see here how this is starting to fill in. So I will continue on and come back as I reach the end here. I'm here with the last bead that I have out of the 21 here. So just opening that up, and I'm onto the left side of these links that didn't have anything on. Like that. Here we are. It's a little bit hard to see this flat, but you kind of get the idea how each link now has one element on it. And this is it coming down here. I'm going to create the bottom dangle of stones and the teardrop charm pendant, which is going to be coming onto the bottom here. So I had a few crystals left over from the original wrapping of this little organic ring here. So I'm going to take an eye pin, load on a crystal, a jasper, and another crystal, and create an open loop. Just the same way, I'm going back to small loops now, rather than the large ones where we went all the way in on the jaw of the plier. So I'm back to my, it's about 1 centimetre length here that I want to have. I also have my mark on the plier, which corresponds to the size of the open loop that's on this eye pin already. So that just gives me my marker there. So I'll put this into the pliers. So I've created my eye loop there, and I'm going to add this one to the teardrop here. So that's going to go here. This becomes the bottom of the piece that's happening here. Now you can add as many stones as you like, or you can keep it just a very simple little thing here. It's entirely up to you, but I'm going to start adding the stones in on this as that was the original project. So I'll take another eye pin, open it up, and connect it to this eye pin here. Close that up. And I'm actually just going to use plain stones now. So thread on one of the jaspers. Again, I'm down to my 1/2 inch or about 1 millimetre size here. Got a nice eye pin created there. Let's get the next one on. And we'll just work our way up. Here I am on the last one here. This is going to be connected, or I have to remember that there's going to be one connected to this twisted wire ring here. So the loop on it, given the gauge of this, needs to be a little bit longer, or wider, sorry, larger. So it's going to be about the same size as the ones that we had on this end. So let me just cut this down here, so about halfway here. I don't have the crystal on this one, so you sort of have to account for that. Let's put this all the way into the plier jaw here for this one. Make this a nice large loop, and just while I have it in my hand, I'm going to connect it onto this twisted ring here so that we remember that. That's going to be sitting this way. So now I'm going to connect these ones all together. So this is just going to take a couple of minutes. Almost done. Whoops, that one wasn't connected very well. Oops, I didn't close that one. That's a lesson learned. Make sure everything is closed nicely. 2 more left. Almost there. Closing this one up. And the last one, you can just connect it. Doesn't matter which way around you do it. Put this on here. Now this is a really hard one to show you, but I'll take some better pictures at the end. And here we have Stella's place. So this is going to be going here. Let's move these out of the way and see if we can bring Stella into the picture here. This can be her vacation home, I think. So here is Stella. She's my air plant. So usually what I do with these type of hangers is to just pop her in through here. And one of her tendrils acts as a little bit of an anchor too, so just kind of hold her in place here, and then she'll hang very nicely on the wall or from the ceiling. So this is Stella's place. Just a fun little project, a little bit different from jewelry projects that I often do. But a very versatile little project that I'm sure you'll be able to use as inspiration for some other design options. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please give us a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, we do love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.